So I was really thinking about this Alaska trip that she wants to take and this cruise. But the point is she has to go through Canada. I don't see any way that she could really do that. So I love Microsoft Copilot. So let me grab my glasses. I went to Microsoft Copilot. I said, could a murderer get into Canada? So it broke down for me. First I asked, could Gypsy Rose get a Disney Alaskan cruise? Could she book it? It said yes, she could book it, but she would face restriction when the ship stops in Canada, because Canada considers people with serious felony convictions, including murder, criminally inadmissible. So to legally enter Canada, she would need to go through one of Canada's official processes to overcome the inadmissibility. So Copilot asked me, did I want them to break down Canada's criminal rehabilitation process on how a criminal could actually get into their country. So it says, Canada bars entry to foreign nationals with criminal records, including serious felonies. Now, it did say that they do have temporary resident permit. It says that could be a short-term solution, allows entry for a specific trip. Now, you must show a compelling reason for travel, for example, family visit, business, tourism. It also says approval is discretionary and not guaranteed. Then it talks about criminal rehabilitation. Now, there is a way that you can go visit Canada. It says a permanent solution that removes inadmissibility is criminal rehabilitation. Now, but with this, it wouldn't happen in 2026 because it says eligibility requires at least 5 years since completion of the entire sentence. That includes parole or probation. Then the applicant must demonstrate rehabilitation, a stable lifestyle, low risk of offending, and good conduct since release. Now, once approved, the person can enter Canada freely without needing a TRP. Now, it does say deemed rehabilitation in some cases, if enough time has passed and the crime was less serious, a person may be automatically considered rehabilitated. However, this does not apply to serious crimes like murder. Now it goes on and it talks about what this means for a Disney Alaskan cruise. Boarding the cruise, she could board the ship in the U.S. without issue. So she would not have problems if she's in the United States to get on the ship. Now, Canadian ports without a TRP or a criminal rehabilitation approval, she would likely be denied entry at Canadian stops. So I'm guessing what this is saying is she would just have to stay on the ship. And that's exactly what it's saying. Practical impact is she could remain on the ship while it docks in Canada, but she wouldn't be allowed to disembark. So then it tells me in summary, Gypsy Rose Blanchard could join a Disney Alaskan cruise, but to step off the ship in Canada, she would need to apply for either a temporary resident permit, short term, or criminal rehabilitation, long term. But we already know they say you have to be 5 years finishing your sentence, and she just finished her parole this year. So she's still 4.5 years away from even being able to even get a criminal rehabilitation. Given the seriousness of her conviction, Canada would require a strong evidence of rehabilitation before granting entry. So to me, why would she just go ahead and just put her money in there? I mean, it makes no sense to me. Because here again, it tells me you must at least wait 5 years after completing your entire sentence. This includes prison time, parole, probation. And it says here, for Gypsy Rose, since she was released in December 23, the earliest she could apply would be December of 2028, assuming no parole probation restrictions remain. But we know there was. So that would actually put her probably in 2029. Now, she would have to apply. She would have to have court documents, police certificates from every country where she's ever lived, which we know it was here, personal statements explaining circumstances of the crime, rehabilitation efforts, and why you want to enter Canada. But I think her most problematic would be, what is her rehabilitation efforts? And she would need evidence of rehabilitation. And that would be employment records, which she doesn't have any employment records. It would be community involvement. What has she done for the community? She hadn't done anything for the community. I mean, she sits on her bum watching TV or being on a live all day talking crap. References, who in the... I guess they're going to get Big Bree to reference her, because everybody that's just about sitting on her panels, they're criminals as well. So who in the world are they going to get to be her references? Therapy records. So she would need something from her therapist saying that she would need to, that she is good and she's not going to reoffend. And then it says, then you have to pay the processing fee. So it says it would be 1,000, I guess, Canadian dollars for serious criminal, which includes murder. So it would cost her 1,000 Canadian dollars for serious criminality, including murder. So then she would have to do the applications. They're sent to the Canadian visa office. Processing time, it says here, when you submit that application to Canada, the processing time varies anywhere from 12 to 24 months for serious crimes. So there's no way she could go in 2026 because it'll take Canada 12 to 24 months to check her out. It says, if approved, you are considered rehabilitated and can enter Canada freely. If denied, you must still apply for a temporary resident permit, TRP, for short-term entry, but approval is discriminatory. And then it says again, without criminal rehabilitation approval, Gypsy Rose could board the Disney Alaskan cruise, but would not be allowed to disembark in Canadian ports. So why pay all this money? And she couldn't even get off the ship in Canada. That to me is really strange. And you would think that she would do her research and try to figure this all out. But I guess not. She just throws her money away like it's candy. Guys, tell me what you think of this. I love each and every one of you. This is crazy. This is insane. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.